Hey everyone, Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we're checking out The Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time on 4K UHD from Disney. I'll do a 4K review, talk about the movie, talk about the specs, packaging, and an issue that is affecting a decent amount of users when it comes to this disc, which you should be aware of. So to start, let's talk about the movie. First of all, let's get this out of the way. Tim Burton did not direct this. Henry Selick did. It's a great movie. It works at both Halloween and at Christmas time. It's one of the maybe the only movies that can be like a dual holiday movie. It just nails both of them, which is so interesting. It has some of the most incredible stop motion work. My friend Adam Yeen wrote an article about this for the Academy website. You should go check that out. It dives into the stop motion, over 5,000 different heads just for Jack Skellington alone. And I actually got to see a few of them at the Academy Museum when I was in LA. The work that went into this movie is incredible, and it stands the test of time. It's still, I think, a masterpiece. Now, the 4K here is rescanned 35 millimeter and looks incredible. By far the best that this movie has ever looked. They retained the grain structure really well. It does enhance that stop motion. Because it's all practical. I've talked about this with other movies in this kind of world. Coraline, one that comes to mind. It really looks super sharp because you've got all these practical stop motion effects and shot on film. Great grain structure. No DNR applied here. A really solid restoration that I think has been in the works for quite some time, and that I'm very excited has finally come to 4K Blu-ray. Now, unfortunately, as is the case with most Disney 4Ks, this doesn't have Dolby Vision, but I don't consider that to ever be a real deal breaker. I wish they would do it. I think it's sort of industry standard, but the regular HDR color grade here does look nice, and it looks like they took their time with it, went by scene, really messed with the color grading I shouldn't say messed with the color grading, but got the color grading right with HDR so that they didn't mess with an original look and feel. And Henry Selick was involved in this from what I hear, and was, invested in this release, and so they did this right, and this was a fine example of what Disney could do with 4K. I'd love to see them add Dolby Vision, but a great example of what could be done with some of those Fox catalog titles, all the Disney live action stuff that's out there, even lots of Disney animation that's never come to the format. This was a great sign that we got this, and I hope we get more. I don't know when it's going to happen, but very good effort by Disney, a return to form, I would say, for physical media. Now, on the audio side of things, you get a DTS HD 7.1 track, which is really good. No Atmos, so again, that's pretty standard at this point, but older movie, doesn't necessarily need Atmos. Lots of people don't even have Atmos capable stuff, so I don't really knock, again, like Dolby Vision, I don't knock it too hard, especially when the 7.1 sounds great. It's a really powerful dynamic track. It does have a little bit of volume adjustment needed, and maybe this is me and the way I have my stuff set up here at home, but it was a little bit lower than my reference level, so I had to up the audio a little, but it doesn't have that kind of cheap Disney audio we had been getting lately. Packs a decent punch, has the nice low end, has really good surround effects, the music sounds great, but it all sounded great for me. Now, here's the issue with this disc, which is a weird one that I don't necessarily blame Disney for, but I blame more the state of 4K hardware and technology. So many of you guys reported to me when you got this that you were having audio issues, and basically the music was super high pitched, or you could only hear the super high pitched noises. Everything else was low and muddled. You couldn't hear dialogue. And what we found out, and what I found out through asking a bunch of people who sent it to me, was that everybody was watching on a PS5. So there seems to be some sort of issue between this disc, the firmware on a PS5, the way it's, decoding the audio, and the encoding of the audio on the disc. Something isn't clicking. And on certain PS5s, which is why it's not even, an issue they can probably pinpoint yet, because it's only certain devices, the audio is going to be messed up. And I've heard this from dozens of people at this point. So it's something to definitely be aware of. If you buy this and you play on a PS5, you could have an issue. You could be fine, but you could have an issue, and I doubt that Disney's going to do a replacement program. because it's really not on them. It's something happening on the PlayStation 5, and every other player, if you have a standalone player, even an Xbox, will work. It's a PS5 issue, which is really odd. I haven't heard of anybody who has a standard like standalone player that had the issue. So it does speak to this common issue in the world of 4K UHD Blu-ray. Like, we don't have good tech. Panasonic makes good players, Sony makes okay players, and then there are super high-end players like Rauseo or Magnetar, which are thousands of dollars. But those Sony players can have issues, dual layered, triple layer discs versus dual layer discs, 66 gigs versus 100 gigs. There's really been no like industry standard. Dolby Vision, HDR10+, HDR10, every player handles things differently, every TV handles things differently. I really consider this to be a problem with the technology not standardizing. Like, when we had HD TVs, you had HD. Like, there wasn't all this messing around. There was, there were plasma TVs, there were LCD, LED, but it was just HD format. It was Blu-ray format. Dolby Vision, Atmos, all the stuff that comes with this, it just hasn't been standardized. And I think the players, like a PS5 or a lower end Sony player, they just can't keep up with the changes because there's an emphasis on it. So again, I don't blame Disney for this issue. Most of you will be fine, but definitely just be careful with the PS5. And, just for me, I just think, why can't we just get this right? Like, why can't we just have players that work 100% of the time with every disc? And, I don't know why it's been such a problem for this format. Now for packaging, we got a slipcover here with the Ultimate Collector's Edition at the bottom. Actually, some nicely embossed, debossed, always forget which one. I think it's a little bit of both. But nice artwork, not bad at all. On the inside, same art. Popping it open, you do get a digital code, and then you've got artwork on the 4K disc, and the standard Blu-ray is included as well, which is the sing-along edition. So if you do have that Blu-ray, you're not losing the sing-along edition, which is nice. And then for special features, all the features are on the Blu-ray, nothing on the 4K disc, which speaks to the quality of the 4K. But deleted scenes, the making of, audio commentary, song selection, some of Tim Burton's early films, Frankenweenie is on here with an introduction, his original poem, and What's This? Jack's Haunted Mansion Holiday Tour. Plus, like I said, the sing-along edition is there. So you do get most of the stuff ported over, but nothing new for this collector's edition. So overall, I do think this one is worth checking out. It's by far the best it's ever looked. It sounds great. If you're a huge fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, you at least don't lose any of the special features. You don't gain anything new, but this is a good release with a really nice visual restoration and remastering that I do give Disney props for. I hope they can do more of this. I hope that there's more catalog titles coming, especially 35mm stuff that they're giving proper restorations to, because, I think this will sell really well, especially as we get into Halloween, we get into Christmas time when people want to watch this. It'll sell really well, and they have so much opportunity, and if they do it right, like this, I don't see how it doesn't make the money. So I hope they do more of it, but it's a good release. I would recommend it. If you're upgrading from like an old DVD or something, go to this. Don't buy the Blu-ray. And if you do have the Blu-ray, that'll come down to a financial budget decision for you, but there's no reason not to get this. No real red flags other than that audio issue. But if you don't have a PS5, then you have nothing to worry about. So that's it for the review. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Disney for sending that out so I can get an early look at it. I know a little delayed on the review past the release date, but I've been super busy, so finally got to check it out. But if you want more like this in physical media, movie collecting topics, just movies in general, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got 115,000 strong right now, which is incredible, and we're still growing. So thank you all to everyone who has subscribed. Like this video so others will see it. We spread the word about these great releases on physical media so others can get into it. And of course, follow me on social media. Check out all the links in my description for links to my social profiles, partners, discount codes, all of that. And you can always scan the QR code right here if you're on a TV screen with your phone camera, and that'll bring you to those links as well. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll talk to you soon.